In this particular video, my friend, I'm going to be sharing with you how the type of questions that you ask determine the type of answer or the type of reality you get to experience as far as your life is concerned. This is something you don't want to miss, so my friend, please grab yourself some comfort food, your notepad, pen or pencil, sit back, my friends, and relax. All right, relax. Dimitri here, and let's get right into it. As I was saying, the type of question you get to ask determine the type of answer you get to experience. And more specifically, the quality and quantity of question you ask determine the type of life or the type of answer or solution you get to experience. So let me just break it down in more simpler language. When you ask yourself these empowering questions, you only get to experience these empowering solutions, these empowering realities. But when you ask yourself empowering question, you get then to actually develop the ability to experience what I would simply call empowering lifestyle or reality. And more specifically, let's just get down into the more specific reality of how question get to shape reality. If you ask yourself a lot of questions all over the place, no focus as far as your question goes. So basically, in terms of quantity, too many questions. In terms of quality, low energy question. Basically, why is this life so messed up? Why the economy is so bad? Why the people around me so completely crazy? Why is my family so crazy? My friend, you will come to a place where you're going to be experiencing basically the type of reality that you're talking about. Crazy family, crazy reality, crazy government, crazy economy, crazy everything, crazy friend around you. So everything will be simply crazy because the type of question are simply dictating the type of answer you're getting. And because the question are all over the place, your life also be all over the place. But if you come to a place, my friend, where you develop the ability to reduce the number of questions you ask, you simply focus on one particular topic or issue or reality or target that you want to actually focus on, my friend, that one focus is going to simply give you the ability to go on to simply demonstrate a bigger reality. Number one, and when you actually focus just on one particular target and you also increase the quality of your question, asking more empowering questions, this one question is going to now give you a bigger or magnificent reality as far as your life is concerned. Let me now get to just two examples just to demonstrate what I'm talking about. As a matter of fact, a funny story. The other day I was talking about Leonardo da Vinci, and at one point I simply said Leonardo da Vinci was actually born in 1451. I simply said, oh no, I made a mistake. My daughter said to me, oh daddy, who cares? Who knows the difference between 1451 and 1450? I said, I do, because 1451 that was Christopher Columbus, 52 that was Da Vinci. So I don't want to be making mistakes. She said, it doesn't matter, just give us the story. So I'm going to just give you the story without getting into the specific of the dates. A few years ago, many years ago, there was born into a very poor family in England. Was born a young man, a young boy that quickly realized that life was going to be completely different because he realized that he had just lost the family lost the other brother that was there before him. Number one, the family was so destitute that from time to time, they had to go without. To the point where the mother started getting upset with the father, simply says, I'm coming from this particular society. You brought me down here, and down here I'm just living from poverty to poverty. So basically from lack to lack. So every single day it seems like I have to give up more in terms of what I want for my family. And she was so upset with the father or her husband. Number one. Number two, the father lost also a child. She never actually forgave herself or forgave her husband because they actually living in such a down situation that they could not afford the proper child care or the proper health care that would have prevented that tragedy. So this is how it's living. But slowly and surely, things started getting so bad to a point where at one point, the young boy was just told, oh yes, when they come from school, he's told that yes, your mom was actually packed up a bag and went away on a trip. And next thing you know, he kept asking, well, where's my mom? When is she coming back? Eventually, the father simply tells me, says, no, your mom did not just go on a trip, but she went on a trip and she passed away. So of course the child never said, but my mom went on a trip without saying goodbye to me, and then mom went away, and eventually she actually basically passed away, and no one is going to actually have a ceremony or funeral ceremony just to actually honor the passing of my mom. So it was more devastating. But he went on to focus not so much on the dramas that he was actually coming from, but focus on what he wanted to build as far as his future was concerned. So he started asking himself, why am I so magnificent? So the question was asking himself is, why is not so much, why my family is so crazy? Why my child was so crazy? Or why am I experiencing all these tragedies? But he started asking himself a deep question. The question was, why am I so magnificent? And at one point said to himself, I am basically a A-list Hollywood actor. I'm going to go to Hollywood and make a big name as far as my life is concerned. And this is basically the first example. The second example is this young man born in America to in a rural environment where basically people had to use their hand to actually make things happen. But this young man said to himself, no, this is not for me. This is, as a matter of fact, believe me, I'm not going to be using my hand to do all these people are doing. I have nothing against it, but I have to be using my brain because I have a sense that I was born for bigger and better things. But as he's doing that, he also realized that his family is now scolding him because the family is saying, but what kind of weak man is this young man is? Because everyone is able to use the hand that this guy is actually scolding this the manual work and focusing on his brain, which is fine, but this means that this man is a weak man. But this man, in the midst of all of that, developed the ability to believe that he was actually a leader that could actually go on to serve as a public servant and make great things happen for America. So a weak man decided to believe that, yes, I'm still a powerful leader. I can actually help this nation move to a different reality. So now let me just give you the name. The first one is actually Archibald Alexander Leach. He eventually turned himself to calling himself Gary Grant. And the second is Lincoln. So Lincoln and Gary Grant, these two gentlemen coming from a completely different background, but decide to believe that, yes, instead of focusing on so much on what has happened to us, we're going to be focusing on what needs to happen next. And more specifically, the key question we're going to be asking ourselves is, why am I so magnificent? And they went on to make history. Number one. Number two. So instead of asking himself at one point as they wanted to do what they want to do, in the case of Gary Grant, as he was moving to America, he could have asked himself the question, but why is it I'm so ambitious? And all my friends with whom I'm traveling from England, they are not as ambitious as I am. So what gives me the right to believe that, yes, I'm actually part of something magnificent? He simply chose to focus on the fact that, yes, because the light I'm actually carrying within me is actually going to be so magnificent, I'm going to go on to illuminate everything around me. Number one, my light is simply going to jumpstart the bus and take the bus from wherever it is now to a complete different dimension. As a matter of fact, if I don't like the direction of this bus, I'm going to go to the wheel, take the wheel and take over because I want to take the bus to a better direction. Number one. Number two, as far as Abraham Lincoln is concerned, he said to himself, yes, as a matter of fact, I'm now elected the president of the United States. But as a matter of fact, I'm realizing, number one, my background is actually poor to the point that I used to be called a weak man in my family. Number one. Number two, I come to Washington, and as far as my government is concerned, I'm surrounded by people who are not as powerful or as military minded as the people who are basically going to be fighting in the South. So how can I possibly believe that this is going to be actually a positive reality? He simply said to himself, I'm going to change the quality of question I'm asking, not so much the quantity, but the quality and the focus. Why am I so magnificent as far as America is concerned? And the rest is history. So, as far as you and I are concerned in this particular season, it's not so much about what has happened to you so far. It's about the type of question you ask yourself. Number one, it's not so much about the quantity of question you ask yourself, but it's about the quality of question you ask yourself and the intensity of your focus. Because once your question, you actually start focusing on the quantity of question, fewer questions, and bigger quality, my friend, the focus you're going to bring as far as your attention is concerned is simply going to be so, it's going to become less of focus and going to go on to give you the type of reality you so deserve in this season and beyond. All right, so stop asking yourself the question, so why am I surrounded by people who seem to be so crazy? That's the wrong question. Stop asking yourself the question, why am I living in this time where the government leaders don't seem to be know what they're doing? That's the wrong question. Stop asking yourself the question, why is it that things seem to be all over the place? But ask yourself the key question, why am I so magnificent? Because once you ask yourself the question, why am I so magnificent, and you focus on the question with intensity, my friend, you're going to develop less of focus, and that's going to go on to give you the ability to go on and to make history. All right? Have yourself a powerful day. This is Dimitri from Mountain of Inspiration. Love you so much. Know the best is yet to come, but in order for the best to be manifested, you have to be intentional. See yourself basically where you want to be. Number one. Number two, take charge of what needs to happen as far as where you are to where you're going. Number three, change the type of question you're asking yourself. Focus on quality and decrease the quantity so that your focus can actually be narrow and you know exactly what you're focusing on. And once you simply reduce your focus to 1% of the target, my friend, the rest is going to be history. Love you so much. I'm out.
I love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry. It's time to break up so I can make a better me. Better believe in your mind, cause it's everything. You can mold anything. All it takes is